Hey, what's up guys? Your average wargamer is back with another video of World of Warships. And today I'm going to be featuring a super battleship which in my opinion is probably the king of snipers in this game and by far the best battleship that you can helm in this game right now. And that is obviously a tier 11 Japanese battleship Satsuma. Now Satsuma is very interesting by so many other means. Let me explain why it is so powerful and a very powerful sniper in the game. Now first of all, Satsuma, it does have 510mm guns, the highest caliber in the game by far. Like it has 510mm guns, 8 of them. As you can able to see, it has 4 turrets, and firing angles are nothing to brag about, but these guns have pretty insane 19,400 alpha damage if I'm not wrong. And well, that AP salvo, if you hit someone with 2.1 sigma, by the way, and if you guys don't know what sigma values are, well, it is something that whenever you shoot at someone, you basically have this tight grouping percentage or basically value that basically relate to that sigma. So if you have higher sigma, which basically means that the tighter grouping of shells is gonna be happening within that dispersion ellipse. And I mean, Satsuma has 2.1 sigma, which is very high value for a battleship. And I mean, with these accurate guns, you can be pretty devastating against those cruisers that show broadside. Hell, even battleships going to have really hard time. And as you can able to see, I just got 2 penetration hits and did some good damage. Satsuma obviously have one more thing that basically makes it the king of sniper. And when I say this in this game, you will be able to clearly see that why it is really powerful ship as a super battleship in the game. Now, as you can able to see, there is a F button down below, which basically have its bar, which consistently increases whenever you take a shots on any ship out there. As you can able to see, that bar getting filled gradually, and once it gets full, which basically around 3 salvos it will get full, you can able to launch a devastating salvo with 35% minus dispersion, or basically you can call it that less dispersion bonus that you will get, which basically means a ridiculous amount of tight grouping. And well, that basically means that you can almost always dev strike a cruiser that broadsides, and that's one of the really powerful ships about Satsuma. As you can able to see, there is a Ushakov, which is also a really strong tier 11 Russian battleship, which is basically a super Kremlin, I would say. Talking about the Satsuma stats, well, I did talked about the guns, and as you can able to see, the stats got filled, or you can say that F button is now ready to be used with 35% minus dispersion bonus that you can get out of it, which basically means that once you use that funny button, which people call that thing, you can be able to launch a ridiculous salvo. Here, I mean, Satsuma has, you can able to see, very decent or pretty impressive HP pool of 19,200. Oh, sorry, 119,200, which is very high for a super ship, obviously. I mean, it's a Yamato class upgrade, so you can expect that much numbers to be pretty common, at least at this tier. You have 5 heals, and you can also use spotter plane, fighter plane in this battleship, but I usually use fighter plane because, well, the AA values of Satsuma is nothing too special. It's slightly better than Yamato, and I mean, Yamato is definitely very notorious in having very weak AA in this game, historically accurate as well. So I mean, that's also the case with Satsuma, so there's nothing to brag about that thing, to be honest. On the other hand, Satsuma have ridiculous and powerful top build. I mean, I'm talking about 59% torpedo protection damage reduction. So I mean, that much insane torpedo belt means that a torpedo like Shimakaze that does almost 23,000 damage, well, you can basically 60% reduce that damage, and that's what you will take in Satsuma, which is very impressive. These guns are no joke. This game will clearly show you that why it is the king of snipers, and it is amazing battleship to play. I would really recommend you to basically grind the Yamato line if you are into sniping. And I mean that is basically unfortunately a meta in this game, because the more you snipe, the better you have a chance of dealing with the targets further away without losing a whole lot of HP in return. I mean, the risk is that if you push hard, the reward is going to be lower. And I mean, the meta is basically to have more sniping camping style. I mean, it's sad to say this. I mean, I really get sad when saying this, but this is unfortunately the truth of using these sniper ships. This is one of the things that you can do. And here, okay, it's going to be pretty interesting. So this is our Clausewitz, almost half HP, and look at that dispersion that I'm getting from that F button. And if you aim it right, yeah, 2 citadels is basically enough to kill this Clausewitz. I mean, as I said, the damage numbers that you can pump out of this is pretty ridiculous. I mean, 1 citadel does 19,400. So you can literally imagine the amount of damage that you can pull out of that battleship. It's very tanky. I mean, it does have vulnerable cheeks. At long ranges, just like I said, it's pretty tanky. But I mean, don't expect anything particularly special. Oh, getting that 18,000 penetration damage on Bungo. You can clearly see that Satsuma does pretty easy damage on these ships. I mean, Bungo has almost 32mm armor all over the place, so it's pretty vulnerable to Satsuma guns, which, I mean, I will come up to another thing. Now, Satsuma is one of those battleships that has the value like overmatch. So Yamato also has 32mm overmatch, and what I mean by that is you can basically ignore the armor that battleships usually get around 32mm, which basically means that you can ignore the armor and do the exact damage that I did to that Bungo. All 3 shell hits did penetration damage just because of that ridiculously strong overmatch. And that makes Satsuma, I mean, Yamato class battleships pretty good, but Satsuma a notch even better just because of that powerful thing. You have ridiculously strong alpha AP shells that can be pretty powerful. And I did like 122k damage, so I was pretty happy about these numbers right now. But the game is definitely not looking that good. I can see that our Izumo and Montana are kind of overextended. Like, there are a lot of ships on A, and I don't really know whether they will survive for too long. And then there is a Yu-Yang, which obviously is gonna be a threat regardless of how much torpedo power belt you have in Satsuma. You got to be playing exactly carefully, I would say, to basically able to do well in a battleship. And I mean, in this case, I was broadsided to Bungo, and Bungo did some damage, but 11,000, it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse, but he didn't done Citadel to me, which I was pretty happy about. And then I just turned out and kited away. From C flank, obviously, since there is a Yu-Yang, that can be potentially a big threat. So he's getting the C cap, and Bungo, as usual, shooting the Marceau. I think Marceau gets spotted by probably a Yu-Yang. And here, another situation that I'm using the funny button, or you can call it that F sniping power button, and you can able to see that dispersion. I mean, this is ridiculously pinpoint accurate. Unfortunately here, even though I tried to aim right, the shells land short, and one of the shells only land into a torpedo protection. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, there are some bugs out there in World of Warships. That's one of those things that I don't want to even talk about. I'm not sure why shells land too short sometimes, but I can tell you one thing, that there is some problem that they have to address. And that basically makes sniper battleships like Satsuma sometimes underwhelming. Just because you aim better, didn't get rewarded. As simple as that. Regardless, I was trying to kite away since the Marceau is there, but the Yu-Yang is keeping me spotted. and I don't want to be a target of Yu Yang and getting top, because Yu Yang has very strong deep water torpedoes that can potentially be a very threatening for me in Satsuma. On the other hand, just like I said, you keep sniping the ships that you possibly can, and in this case I'm shooting this good old RPM auto, and I mean, if you aim well, you can get decent salvo. 13.5k damage. Oof, okay. Des Moines getting depth struck is kinda sucks, but hey, he's broadsided and there's nothing that I can say about that thing. On the other hand, I'm dropping the shells on the Yamato. Keep shooting these long-range battleships, because that's one of those things that you can really do here. We have decent cap control, map advantage right now, but it is entirely possible that we might throw this game. Since I can see that Monomoth is aggressively pushing and trying to take on the Des Moines, and guess what happens? The Georgia killed that Monomoth, and this is kind of really sucks. And then there are torpedoes of Yu Yang again. So you can able to see that the constant threat is on the rise because of the Yu Yang. And very luckily, this is probably the second time that the Yu Yang tops run out. And I'm just casually aiming that bungo. And again, I try to aim bungo the way it should be, but the shells again land short. And that is frustrating, to be honest, but there is nothing that I can do right now. So, the bungo obviously is sort of a decent player, trying to speed juke and kite away. And I'm trying to aim in such a way that I might be able to land some shells, but I think he speed juked that salvo again, and you can able to see that he did exactly the right thing. Satsuma, obviously, you can have 3 salvos on any ship, and once you have 3 salvos on any ship, regardless of the shell hits or not, you will get this F button to be available, which basically gives this thing, the dispersion buff, which basically makes the Satsuma one of the ridiculously strong snipers in the game. And I hope this time I might aim probably right. And oh boy, this overmatch did almost 29,000 damage. Aim just okay, and the overmatch support helps Bungo to lose quite a lot of HP. And that is the best thing about playing a sniper battleship like Satsuma. And surviving in the game is definitely very important. Here, a perfect example that Georgia is trying to run away. And well, couple of shell hits would be pretty good, and in this case I got a shell hit which does good damage. Could be a lot better salvo, but Georgia run out or run away, which I don't really like. And at the moment there is a Des Moines that is ridiculously threatening, using islands as cover and farming me very freely. Is something that you don't want to be pushing in unless you have a support. In this case I really don't have, and Georgia, even though he's kiting away, I hit enough shells on this guy that Georgia is dead, which is very relief, or sign of a relief for me. So you can see that Satsuma can be very powerful even on the ships that are kiting away. It's just you have to land shells in a best way possible. Here, enough shells hit on Georgia basically killed him. Bungo on 26 kilometers, very far away. Shoot at him. I mean, I thought maybe I can only shoot the bungo, and getting any damage would be pretty okay. And since there is a Montana as a support, that could help me pretty much against Des Moines. But it was the funny thing right here that the bungo taken a citadel damage from somewhere. I exactly am not sure how did that happen, but that was very surprising. Again, use the F button. The dispersion, as you can able to see, is ridiculously spicy. I'm not sure if I can able to manage to kill him. It is entirely possible that I missed that salvo. It's too far away, but that was the luckiest moment for me. I aim perfectly and correctly, and that bungo as well is dead. Okay, so we don't have I'm sorry guys. I just want to say that there is a Yu Yang that is trying to kill our Montana, and he was 7,000 HP. If I could have a funny button here, or I would say would have that F salvo on the Yu Yang, I think I could have killed the Yu Yang here. But unfortunately, the shells didn't get that powerfully close that Yu Yang only eaten 3 shells, which obviously sucks because now I actually don't have any choice except to push. Iowa and Marceau doing their job here, and the Des Moines obviously using the islands as cover. And since I know that the Yu Yang is around the smoke area, I'm in a big trouble. I'm exactly not sure that how to deal with this situation, because there is a Yu Yang that is basically potentially top me from the right side, and then there is Des Moines that basically free farming me from the island. And obviously that is the strength of Des Moines. Somehow he manages to come back and get spotted, and guess what happened? The most funniest thing that I've ever seen. The Des Moines got his gun knocked out permanently in this game, and his TPM that was basically double, or at least in like he was using 2 turrets, now he is forced to use 1 turret, basically half his DPM right now. And that is the most unfortunate thing for Des Moines. But the unfortunate thing for me is as that Yu Yang finally able to kill me with the torpedoes, because I'm not sure that the torpedoes are coming from where. He finally manages to kill me, which is very unfortunate. But you can able to see that I tank pretty good damage potential, as well. He's saying noob. Okay, sure, you can call me noob. I tried my best for this team, and that would hopefully be able to give us the win. And that's what exactly going to happen. So I will go into the team score now. So the game finally ends. Our team won by points, which is very nice. And so, as you can able to see, the damage numbers is pretty decent for Satsuma. 266k damage, 3 citadel hits. That poor Claus has taken a massive damage from those 2 citadels. 3 kills, high caliber, Confederate. I mean, at this tier you don't expect good credits, but still for a game like this, you still earn decent credits regardless. But nothing to brag about at all. And then I will come up with the team score. Well, that's like division of Bongo, Yu Yang and Des Moines played amazing. They did absolutely a great job in dealing with us. In this case, well, I did pretty good for the team. Thankfully, we have gotten caps for long enough that helps us to secure the win, which is pretty nice. As you can able to see, Satsuma does amazing. A very strong sniper battleship in the game. If you don't have one, you can absolutely grind the Yamato and get this ship and enjoy playing this sniper powerful battleship. So detail report wise, you can able to see I did massive damage to Bungo, Clausewitz, and then there are a couple of ships along the way. So pretty good damage numbers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do like the video, please like, subscribe and share, and I will catch you into the next one. Peace out.